Yeah, Shaq Talk TV. How y'all doing tonight? Yeah, tonight I'm gonna basically touch on the gender war thing, but I'm gonna speak on it from an accountability standpoint, and I'm gonna speak on it from the male perspective. Now, fellas, we know that I'm talking to black men specifically because that's the only community I can speak on because I have most of my experience growing up in this community because I'm a black male myself and I grew up around black folks from the hood to the suburbs and colleges, all that. But what I'm gonna speak on is checking your aura, checking where your energy stance is at the moment. Now, fellas, we know on both spectrums, when it comes to both genders, we're off balance because of the shit we've been taught subconsciously in our brain through movies, through music, through a lot of propaganda, through these books that they push out, through these psychologists that work under the cabal, but they act like they're for our best interest. But that's another story I'm gonna get down the line, get to down the line. But what I'm gonna speak on is your accountability. Now, we know a lot of men right now are more in a quote unquote a feminine energy, which means we're not taught how to lead, we're not taught how to build, be producers, providers in a positive sense. We're not standing in our masculine stance. That's the reason why you don't see widespread protection in our community. And a lot of women, they're in a kind of an aggressive stance. That's why you see, now that's not to say women aren't meant to earn, but I'm just saying women are more so in a position right now where they have to provide for men because it's a psychological thing, it's a propaganda thing that's going on, and a lot of men are not standing in their masculine, and a lot of women are not standing in their feminine, but I'm going to speak on men right now. I want to give you some cues for you. Now, we all know that there's a lot of women that no matter how you act, some of them are just damaged, some of them are just toxic, some of them are just hurt. And it's the same for men too, but we just speaking from a man's point of view. We know we run into these type of women. But also a lot of times it's just a cue for you. This is a reflection of how you standing as a man. Because a lot of times what we call bitching, sometimes women are bitching, and sometimes it's not because they bitches. Sometimes it's because you're not standing up to your what you were naturally here to do. You're naturally here to provide, protect. And I'm not talking about like gender roles that's like specific, like you pay all the bills and she don't, and she got to cook and clean. I'm just talking about the providing security, this self-secureness aspect of a man. Now, when you see women like bitching and moaning to you, it might be reflecting to you that might not be on your square as a man. Like meaning, you might be a nice guy, but you might not show aspects that you're able to protect for her when you're out in the world. So she don't feel safe with you. You might not be showing the ability to make decision making, because women can make decisions too, but they deal with estrogen. Women that's really in a feminine, they're in a estrogen, and a lot of times they are too emotional to come to a logical decision. So that's when you come in. So when a man is extra emotional, you look extra weak because you don't have to deal with a cycle every month. The woman has to, and she's going to automatically be in her feelings and her emotions. So you have to be the solid rock. But in a society where they tell you to get in touch with your emotions, nothing wrong being in touch with your emotions, but you got to be in touch with your emotions so you can know how to manage them. You know what I'm saying? That's what in touch with emotions I speak on. But society tells you you're supposed to be like extra sensitive. You know what I'm saying? Like extra sensitive to the point you can't even stand in your logical mind frame. Now, as you know, there's a lot of men that speak from a logical standpoint in society as a tactic because they've been brainwashed to program you to keep it easy on them. They don't want brutal honesty. They don't want the brutal truth. And that's what you're supposed to be on at all times as much as possible. Now, of course, men deal with trauma and issues and emotional issues. And of course, you got to deal with that. But you got to know what your position is as a man in this world. And you wonder why there's really no male leadership like that's as prominent or that leads to an ethical stance or ethical perspective. You know what I'm saying? And you see a lot of black women that's actually fed up with black men because a lot of black men aren't capable of leading. Because first, we haven't been taught to lead ourselves. We've been bombarded to where being single is negative and you're supposed to just look for a spouse automatically. But first, you got to build yourself as a man. You got to have a plan. You got to have some form of leadership within yourself before you can even lead a family. Now, for people that don't believe in male as being a figurehead of the family as far as leadership capabilities or leadership aspect, well, this video ain't for you. I'm talking about for people that understand that in the nuclear family, that the man is the head and the woman is the heart. Now, both are valuable. That doesn't mean just because he's the quote unquote leader doesn't mean he's more valuable than a woman. It just means that just think about this. If the woman is bearing children and she's going through, those hormones, who's supposed to be making the decisions to even protect that? Who's supposed to be the person that's logical enough to protect that and all that shit? So that's what men come in at. You got to look at the primary. You got to look at your primary resources. The other thing about the world is it's almost like they totally negate your primal resources. You can see it in your anatomy. Like for men, I'm not saying, okay, both genders have both aspects. We both have masculine and feminine. We both have provider and nurturing qualities. And as a default, these are masculine aspects to be able to provide, protect, project. You can see it by your anatomy. Like on our reproductive organs, a man's organs is to get up, stand up, stay strong, rock hard, steady, and project. That's the reason why when men complain about women not pursuing them when they're choosing, that's off balance. It's natural for women to be a little more subtle, to read. That's the reason why they're a little more intuitive, because they are more subtle. They can read subtleties a little better. They have to open up to you. You have to warm them up. That's the reason why their vagina has to warm up to you before you insert it. And most men, we can get like hard in the instant. You know what I'm saying? And it's like the woman has to, she might be attracted to you, but you have to be proven that you're safe. You know what I'm saying? You know how to lead, so you won't lead her to danger. Whatever you're doing, whether it's a relationship, whether it's just a one-night stand, you got to know that you're a safe person to be around. So these are aspects, primal aspects, that men have to be in touch with, no matter what you're trying to do in life. These are the aspects that lead you toward having a stronger aura as a man. And it shows in your body language. Like if you stand tall, you stand straight, your shoulders are back, chest out, you know what I'm saying? All that stuff. You have great eye contact, whether with men or women, so you can demand respect. And a lot of times, this is the type of shit that gets you in trouble. You don't even have the demanding presence. Like if you ever notice, most predators, like say if you out and about and you by yourself, now everybody has a risk to get robbed, but the robber is gonna choose the weakest vessel more quickly than the person that they perceive as a stronger vessel. If you stand up and you have your shoulders hunched over and you look scared, you don't have direct eye contact, you won't be a threat to the threat. So the threat is going to choose you before he choose a person that might look like he's in shape, look like he's ready for the threat, look like he can stand on his own 10. He stands straight. He looks straight ahead at anybody, whether he perceive him as a threat or perceive him neutral or perceive him as a friend, a potential lover or whatever. They look him straight in the eyes, because the eyes is the windows to the soul. So men, we have to be men and coming up boys. You have to be aware of your interpersonal interactions, which is the ability to make decisions, the ability to talk clearly, the ability to keep your emotions in check. You can express your emotions, but don't be over emotional, because you can't control your emotions. How can people trust you? How can you make a woman even feel safe? Because you could fly off the handle. I've been a victim of this. I had rage issues, and I've seen why I brought a reflection of women reacting to me a certain way because I was in my rage. So now that I have this under control, my reality has changed the way people have reacted toward me. So a lot of times Men be bitching about all this shit about how women react to them and being a victim and blah blah blah. But it's all about how you move and how you carry yourself. So that's what I want men to understand. Like, men have to stop bitching about chicks that, first of all, you need to have a strong skin, because what we see nowadays and what women always complain about is when men pursue them out in public, they get rejected, and they get in their feelings, and they call them, oh, you was ugly anyway, or you a bitch anyway, or all this bullshit. These are men that's not confident. These are men that don't believe in themselves. They don't have an abundance mindset. These are men that feel like they don't have no possible options. They don't feel they have the ability to get women or attract women. So they feel like this is the one time to get her. So I'm gonna try to. If this ain't it, it shatters the ego. You know what I'm saying? Because they feel like they don't ever know when seconds ever gonna come again. They never know when they're gonna ever have attention again. And what men need to understand is, you're not. What men always get jealous of the Drakes, of the big dogs or whatever like that. Everybody can't be the big dog, but what you can do is become the best version of yourselves, the best of your ability. I'm gonna use an example. If anybody is familiar with football, Julius Edelman was a wide receiver for the Patriots. He's been a Super Bowl MVP. That's the best receiver of all time. If you just seen him from the first day he played football, you can tell he didn't have raw ability like a Randy Moss, like a Jerry Rice, like a Terrell Owens. But what he did is made the best of the abilities he had. You know what I'm saying? So he got as far as he could. Like, if you, in consensus, if you're deemed an ugly dude in the face, you may not be able to ever get the type of, the type of attention that a naturally attractive dude might have. But you can up the how can I say, the rate of women that you can attract if you stay in shape, if you groom yourself, if you stay clean, if you try to get a bag, you know what I'm saying, if you stay in your passion, you stand straight, you know what I'm saying, get your aura together, and you can higher your possibilities of attracting the type of woman you want. And you have to have your emotions intact. You know what I'm saying? You know, there's a lot of dudes that women deem as handsome, but they are bitch niggas, you know what I'm saying, in spirit. So, because women, women are a little different than dudes, like, especially in the 20s. I can't speak for dudes 30 and older, because I know me now, the women, I have to have a vibe with a woman. I don't care how good she look to even consider sleeping with her. But a lot of dudes are not really considering that. They just considering looks and that's it. But women, you know what I'm saying, it's it's a cliche, but it's true, especially about what I hear from women, that a lot of women know who they want to sleep with when they first see them, but your personality, your aura, and a lot of other things come to account whether they make the decision to let you in or not. So those are the things you should be focused on. And further than that, just as a man, just to feel good as a man, period, these are things you should focus on. You should focus on your health, because you feel better. Even if it attracts more women, you feel better as a man. You stand up stronger. You feel more dignified. You know what I'm saying? You can look yourself in the mirror. You look other men in the mirror. Be respectable. You know what I'm saying? And understand boundaries with other men. Once you have that intact, you can deal with women. You know what I'm saying? You can deal with women and still be strong. Still deal with rejection. Be respectful. When you have rejection, be like, all right, ma'am, have a nice day. You know what I'm saying? It was a pleasure talking to you either way. Because if you have a purpose, a lot of this stuff won't bother. You won't have time to be bitching over who's taking you back, who rejected you, none of that shit. So, men, we have to take our own power back, take our masculinity back, strength back, our dignity back, and realize that you're the problem in the mirror. You're the one. You're the one that's making this reality the way it is. You're the one that's giving a reflection that comes back to you. If there's something that's rejecting you, then it's okay. Move along. There's other women in the world. There's other opportunities in the world. You know what I'm saying? I've seen men that say that they too short, so they feel like they can't get no women, or they too ugly, or they bald, or whatever. But I done seen all type of dudes pull women. The shortest dudes, they used to have a bunch of women. I seen bald dudes that get more women than niggas with waves. You know why? Because it was their aura, they quote unquote swag, they belief in themselves. their dignity, the way they stand up, their confidence. So I'd be one man to see that, because what I'm tired of seeing, which I used to be a part of, is going back and forth with women all day, talk about what they doing wrong. And of course, people are doing wrong. So it's no time. You got to get yourself right. Fuck who's doing wrong. Get yourself right, brothers. You know what I'm saying? And focus on some purpose. Focus on doing something for yourself. Focus on standing up and getting your aura together. Get your aura intact. Get some knowledge. Get something to talk about with women instead of just focusing on pussy every time you talk to a woman. Just have something to talk about, because then you'll enjoy the process. You know what I'm saying? Even if pussy comes, you enjoy the whole process, and instead of being fixated on fucking. And if that don't happen, your whole night is ruined. And if it don't happen, shit, it was a good night. Whatever, man. This, and if she didn't want to sleep with you, that's cool. There's other women that may want to sleep with you. As long as your aura is intact, as long as you a strong dude and you hold your square and your aura is intact, you know what I'm saying? People got to stop. Men have to stop thinking about all that shit and deal with their insecurities. That's what niggas got to deal with. Them, they self. Look in the mirror, brothers. Dig what I'm saying? But that's all for the night. I'm going to keep continuing this series too, because men are always saying they leaders. You know what I'm saying? We supposed to lead. But if you keep complaining to women, like leaders don't really complain like that. They take responsibility for whatever creation they created, whatever they created, whether it's their fault, quote unquote, or not. You know what I'm saying? And then you got to have the team around you, the right team. I'm not talking about women, but I'm talking about what you attract. That's a resemblance of team. Or when it comes to friends, your co-workers, if you're an entrepreneur, the people that you hire, the women or the woman that you deal with, you attract the right team around you. If you're a leader, you have discernment. You have no time to like bitch and complain. You're looking for solutions. So that's what we had to get to. Solution mindset instead of thinking like motherfucking victims all the time. I think that's what's hindering us as a black community as men. And also that a lot of us didn't have no strong father figures, if we had any, growing up. You know what I'm saying? We didn't have no leadership in the household. A lot of us didn't. I know a lot of brothers that have. I know a lot of brothers that's good fathers now, but I'm saying in the overall spectrum, we didn't have that example of having dignity as men in the household. You know what I'm saying? As putting logic before emotions, not disregarding emotions, but having logic in the forefront, knowing that women or your woman or your sisters or your daughters have to deal with that cycle they deal with every month. So you have to be the one that stands firm and protect it and provide, you know what I'm saying, and stand strong for the woman or women that's around you. You have to have that aspect. And a lot of these dudes, I know a lot of y'all dudes don't know how to fight now, so motherfuckers need to get some boxing lessons or something, because a lot of these women be going out with you on dates and they don't feel safe, so they can't respect you. They may love you, they don't respect you. They have to respect you to submit to you. If they don't respect you, they can't submit you. They may love you, but they don't respect you. How can they respect you if they feel like you can't even stand up to them? How you gonna stand up to another man? You feel what I'm saying? But I'm rambling, you know what I'm saying, because this was on my heart. I'm gonna get more detailed and more organized as these videos go along. But you know, it's a start. So I just want y'all to see the process on all these topics I'm talking about on this channel. So it's Shaq Talk TV. Hope y'all got something from it. And I'll continue on from here. Y'all have a good night. Peace.